Ladies and gentlemen, Kocosports.com is proud to present Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Coco crew here holding it down. You got me, the sexiest man on all Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, boom, boom. Here, shaking the room live from beautiful Omaha, Nebraska. And of course, joining me, the man to my left, stage left, that is, Dave Kokotis. See, I had a little bit of dramatic pause in there to kind of build it up. Rob, for some reason, is not here, so we don't know why, but until then, you just got the Foundation Express holding it down. So, Dave, how the hell are you, my friend?
I'm an emotional fucking wreck, all right? Please, in the comments, put win, loss, or tie. I just put it... I'm going to say it was maybe a slight win. I think this one's going to be all over the place. Maybe a slight win, maybe a tie, but my heart says loss. The streak is fucking over. The streak is over. The streak is over. It's not even to a part-timer. Fucking Ron the Truth Killings. I'm going to be emotional.
Come on. Relax, Dave.
It's hard to pay attention. It is hard to pay attention to Raw when you have tears in your eyes. All right? You know what? Fuck The Undertaker. Fuck Ron Truth Killings. Fuck. This is supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be entertainment. The streak is done. I hope you're proud of yourself. Go ahead, Booms.
Well, look, you know, it had to come to an ending sometime, and and Ron, R-Truth is a good competitor. I mean, hell, he's a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, so the guy's no slouch. I mean, yeah, granted, he'd been on a little bit of a losing streak, but sometimes you gotta, you rebound. He's a cagey veteran. He took on the rookie, he was a little cocky, and boom, he caught him. So, Dave, it's not the end of the world. In fact, I think it's great. Maybe we can build a new streak on this, try to beat the guy who beat the streak.
No, it's just not the same, man. It's just not the same. Pro wrestling will never be the same to me again. Not only did the streak die, a part of me died. I believed in him. And he let me down.
You know what? Maybe he can start. Dave, maybe he can start another streak because sometimes you just have to believe.
I should have saw it coming. The undefeated Vaudevillains lost. It was a week of upsets. The BCS rankings for WrestleMania are totally fucked up now. I should have seen the upset coming. First the Vaudevillains, now this. If I was Rusev, I'd be aware. All these undefeateds just falling down. Now he's probably going to have to go play at the fucking Orange Bowl or some shitty bowl like that. All right. All right, Booms. You know what?
Well, what can I say, my friend?
All right. What did you think? Win, loss, or tie, Booms? Win, loss, or tie?
I'm going to give it a straight-up loss. I was completely bored to tears for this. I was sitting there checking my email. I was, I wish I had fixed my fucking lunch. I mean, ironed my shirt. I mean, that's how fucking bored I was. This was completely half-assed, completely phoned in, in a way. And okay, tonight's Raw, basically right now, WWE has become the Wrestle AM of professional wrestling, half-assed and inconsistent. And you know what? I think I'm going to go get on the phone with my attorneys. Yes, that's right. I have some attorneys on call. The law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. And soon as I'm going to get on the horn with them. And the first thing in the morning, I'm going to see about filing a copyright infringement because, God damn it, there's only room on the internet in this sphere for a pair of half-ass motherfuckers to phone it in with wrestling. In WWE, you know what? You're encroaching on our territory. So you better batten down the hatches and get ready to go to war because when it's over, the Coco crew is going to fucking own goddamn WWE. That's right. It'll be Monday Night Raw featuring commentary by Wrestle AM. That's exactly what the hell's going to happen.
This is what happens when you break the streak. We get all fucking delusional. All right, let's try to focus, Booms. Let's go through it. I know it's an emotional ride. I know you believed. Let's just break down Raw. Please put in the comments win, loss, or tie. The only reason I say it is because on Facebook and Twitter and all the social media, it seemed like it was just a big bag of fucking mess. Some people thought it was the worst show ever. Some people thought it was awesome. So I kind of want to know what the audience thinks. So, Booms, please check out comments when you can. All right, let's break this down.
All right, this started out with John Cena. The only thing that kind of separated this from his usual opening promos was it seemed like he took this one seriously, and that's a thing with Cena. When he starts to take things halfway seriously, he's a little bit more bearable and easier to sit through. Paul Heyman came out and interrupted him, talked about how Lesnar's going to conquer him at SummerSlam. He's going to victimize him. I kept thinking about the Iron Sheik, who's going to like put him in the camel clutch, break his back, fuck his ass, and make him humble. But anyway, he jawed back to Paul Heyman. Cesaro came out unexpectedly, and Cesaro pretty much said what we were all thinking, that, you know, he's not a wrestler, that Cena can't wrestle, and he was going to go in there and wrestle, and challenged him to a match, and it kind of led to this awkward moment. It's like, you know what, I may not be a Paul Heyman guy anymore, but I'm not going to let you insult my good friend. And I'm like, this little part makes no sense, because the first thing he does is go out and hugs Heyman, and Heyman's like, okay, what the hell's going on? What's the motivation behind this? And I felt like, especially with Heyman and Cesaro breaking up, that was a storyline that could have been, made to a storyline. That could have been how they turned Cesaro face. But for whatever reason, I feel like WWE completely dropped the ball. But anyway, this led to the first match of the night, John Cena versus Cesaro. And kids, let me tell you something. If you're going to go back and watch it, just stop after this match, because it goes all downhill from here. It's something to say when your opening match, co-starring John Cena, is your best match. Cesaro looked like $1 million, and he actually did what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to wrestle. John Cena said he was going to wrestle circles around Cesaro, and guess what? He didn't. Cesaro carried him through the match, made him look like $1 million. I think the only consolation to this is, he went toe-to-toe with him, and I'm hoping WWE watched this and at least could see that Cesaro can go toe-to-toe with the big, quote-unquote big boys. But I guess the consolation for this was they made Cesaro look like $1 million, because it just wasn't the standard 5 moves of doom that beat him. He had to go with like this, super attitude adjustment, and hit him with the attitude adjustment from the second rope, and got the pinfall win. So that's all with the opener. Dave, were you satisfied with the opener, or were you disappointed, indifferent? What say you, sir?
I have to admit something, and if you've seen this show for more than 5 seconds ever, like by accident, you were just like, "Whoa, what's this? Oh, it's a guy who yells at webcams." You know that I absolutely hate fucking John Cena. I hate John Cena, Randy Orton, Dave Bautista. I believe in my heart of hearts they killed something that I loved. With that said, this was probably the best promo John Cena has cut in forever. And with Cesaro...
Now I know you're delusional. You just praised John Cena. I know you've lost your mind now.
All I'm saying is, I hate John Cena. I thought this was his best promo in a long time, and him and Cesaro had a decent, entertaining match. And the thing is, too, speaking of delusional, I think, every now and then YouTubers get delusional. I'm starting to get delusional. Here it is. You ready for my delusional? I think they listen to the show. I honestly think WWE listens to the show. Who calls John Cena a walking flyer? Who says he's just a marketing tool? Like I said, they just changed the words around a little bit. I honestly think the Battleground pay-per-view was so bad that they're trying to rebound and give the fans what they want. And John Cena, this is the best promo he's cut in forever. And trust me, I hate the guy, but you have to be honest. And you know what? I'm even going to go this far. This reminds me, remember when Mark Henry was a piece of shit? I know a lot of people see Mark Henry now as a fucking legit fucking main eventer, kind of big star. There was a time that he was considered the biggest piece of shit in the company, and then he cut a promo backstage, and then he had some decent matches, and it kind of turned his career around for a little bit. And his prime was pretty entertaining for a big guy. I have that feeling with John Cena, except Mark Henry didn't have 15 titles. Like, if John Cena never won a title, and he just put people over, and that's it, I think this promo and that would be like, yo, before he retires, he deserves at least 1 title. That's how I felt, and that's the most positive thing I've ever said about John Cena. I actually would have been like, if he never won a title, this promo and this match, I'd be like, you know what? Before he retires, we should give him at least one title. And that's the nicest thing I've ever said about John Cena. Ever. So, you know what? I don't know. I was entertained by a John Cena match and John Cena promo. But it also leads to this debate, because I'm gonna hear people in the comments be like, well, he could always put on a good match. I don't think he can. I think it depends on the opponent, because if he could always put on a good match, that makes him a horrible person. That means for fucking 10 years, 15 title runs, 99.9% of the matches, he nailed it. I would rather believe John Cena can be carried to a good match than just be a piece of shit who mailed it in. That's what I want to believe at the end of the day.
All right. Well, Dave, I'm just to let you know right now the first wave of comments are coming in from the Internet Infantry. Let's go ahead and just lay it out here. Some of the people watching live, you got BGC fan 17. He says, "Hey guys, this was a loss." Let's see. Fran Yelly says it was a win in my opinion. Forsaken says, Dave, I'm sorry for your loss, referring to the streak. So you got some condolences there. Trey Bean says, I enjoyed it. Win. Aaron Moore says, win. Montaku 6 says, loss. Greven 64, loss. Bradley Cassidy, Raw was fairly shit. The best way to sum it up. Wow. Okay, so apparently it's either you loved this Raw or you hated it, judging by the looks from the Internet Infantry. So it was clear-cut either way. Either you liked it or you didn't. I straight up didn't like it. So I'm agreeing, well, maybe the majority agrees with me. But, Dave, you ready to dig a little bit further into the well here?
Sure. Just one thing I want to say is, this was brought up on social media a lot, and I think it's true. Do you think, I think this, but I just want to know if you think of it, and if the Internet Infantry thinks this, do you think they're trying to push the Attitude Era as close to the PG envelope as they can? It just seemed like they tried to do a lot of
I've noticed that too. I've noticed they've gotten a little lax on a few things. It's not like anywhere near the Attitude Era, but they have gone a little bit lax on a few things. But if you've noticed, the people they've kind of given a little bit more free reign to are the people who are fucking untouchable up here. That's who is fucking they're going lax with. I think if I'm just gonna, not to pick on anybody, but if I don't know, fucking Fandango called somebody a son of a bitch, that he would probably get reprimanded. But when John Cena utters son of a bitch, then okay, he's caught in the moment there. He's our top guy. But I mean, that's nitpicking.
Yeah, but old wrestlers do this on the indies a lot, and I just hate the double standards. I hate how some people get their music louder. I hate how they pipe in music, and certain people, I don't know. I don't know how fucking WWE can make a predetermined fucking entertainment.
We do the same thing here on Wrestle AM because whenever you start talking, we have to turn up your audio so you can't hear people screaming. Shut up, Dave. We want to hear more from Boom Boom.
Why you gotta shoot on me, man? All right, let's go to the next match before I start crying and thinking of Bo Dallas again.
All right. Let's go to the segment. Paige and AJ had a confrontation. This time AJ scored a little bit of revenge. This is setting up for a match at SummerSlam. We're not going to have too many matches here to talk about, kids. They only had a handful of matches, I think, if I remember correctly. On a 3-hour show, they had 7 matches, and I do use 7 loosely. 7.
They had more on NXT last week.
Oh, no. So anyway, you want to say anything about Paige and AJ? Do you like how
I
kind of like how it's shaping up. I feel like Paige is a little bit more comfortable playing the bad guy, and AJ is someone who can play either side, so let her be the face. Let Paige chase her for the title now. I kind of hate that WWE gave up on Paige so soon, and they just brought back AJ as quick as they did and had the title just switched automatically. I think it would have been a better storyline had you had Paige turn heel but still have the title, be like, you know what, things have changed since you've been gone. You walked out, I stayed here. I rule the roost now, and I think things would have been a little bit better. But I don't know. I'm hoping this shapes up for a submission match at SummerSlam. I'm hoping, but Dave, anything else you want to add?
I just want to add, I don't know if I agree with you if she should have kept the title, not kept the title, but there was this mix of feelings that I couldn't fucking describe. Like, I never went, this is awesome, this is awkward, so fast all over the place on this promo. I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. Whoa, this is awkward. Oh shit, this is awesome. Oh, this is awkward. I don't know if anyone else had that feeling, but during the AJ Lee and Paige promo, that's all I kept doing. I was like, holy shit, this is all, what are they doing? Well, you know, so, I don't know. I hope they just get it together and perfect it, but I'm looking forward to the match, and I'm rooting for them. But I'm enjoying the Divas probably now more than I have in a real long time. Maybe when the short run of Karma, a.k.a. Awesome Kong, and Gail Kim, Victoria, Molly Holly, since those people left, I think this is the most I've enjoyed the Divas in a really long time. But there is still some awkwardness in their storytelling. But they're trying. Give WWE an A for effort for trying. But it was awesome and awkward, like, within seconds. All right, go ahead, Boom.
Yeah, and next, anyway, Dave, they had another talking segment. This was just, to me, as someone who does television, this was just bad producing altogether. Not necessarily that this was a bad segment, but it turned into a bad segment because it was just not. This wasn't produced correctly. You started out with a way to set up, lay the foundation for the show. You had your first match. Okay, now you're going to go immediately to setting up some confrontation between two divas. Okay, this is going to lead to a match, but it's still a talking segment. Yeah, there's a little bit of violence in there. But then you're going to go immediately from that, not to another match, you're going to go to another talking segment. You're going to have the Authority come out. They start talking about getting arrested. And then for no reason, Chris Jericho comes out, starts making fun of the whole situation, and ends it with, well, I want Bray Wyatt in this ring tonight. And I'm like, dude, you for no reason, unprovoked, went out there, made fun of your boss and his wife, and then you're like, oh, by the way, I would really, really like a match with Bray Wyatt. And it's just like, dude, that makes no fucking sense. And then it's like, well, you're not going to get him this week. You're going to have to get him at SummerSlam. But tonight, oh, here comes Seth Rollins, and you're going to have to take on Seth Rollins. And I'm like, this was completely stupid. Just to me, it's like me going into my boss's office, making fun of his haircut, calling his wife a whore, pouring sugar in his gas tank, and then asking for a raise. So
you should not go to Triple H and Chris Jericho's school of negotiating. That's what we're saying. I thought it was just a tip to the hat, little old school. But is Stephanie McMahon, I bust Dixie Carter's balls a lot. And I say that she's just an infomercial. You know what I mean? Like, oh, she's an infomercial. You just have to get past these segments. Stephanie feels like an infomercial. Like, oh, we pay for the bill, so, I hate to say this because she was born into the company, but she seems very money-markish lately. And I don't know. I just don't enjoy it. But overall, it led to a match that I was kind of excited about. Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho. I was a little pumped up.
Okay. I was like, okay, that sounds like a good main event. That sounds like a good match. I'd like to see that. Let's see how this goes. And it completely fell apart. Next year.
Well, before we go to the next thing, I just want to say Seth Rollins. I don't know if Jericho sold it. I don't know what the situation is, but that looked amazing. The briefcase shot, I was just like, I think he killed Jericho. I don't know if it was the cell.
I detect a little sarcasm in that voice.
What's that?
I detect some sarcasm in that voice.
Go back and watch the briefcase shot. The briefcase shot was pretty fucking sweet.
I saw it. It didn't look all that vicious to me. It just looked like he tapped him, and then Jericho was like down on the ground, and he's like, okay, I'm waiting for Rollins to back off. I'm really hurt. Okay, is he got? No, he's not gone. Okay, I'm still hurt. Oh, I think I may have sprained my wrist too. Wow, look at the time. And he's still here. Shit.
What happened? I used to be the negative one. Do you need an internet hug? Internet imagery in the comments. Give Boom Boom an internet hug.
I would like an internet cookie. I'd prefer cookies over hugs. I'd like a nice big old chocolate chip cookie about the size of my freaking head, and I had to break it in half so I could dunk it in a big old glass of milk. That's what I want rather than the internet hug.
All right.
Moving along. Next, we had some six-man tag action. We had Ryback teaming up with The Miz to take on Dolph Ziggler and the Usos. Now, I was actually curious about this match aside from Ziggler. I wanted to see if they kind of kept this his winning streak going. But the thing that kind of detracted from it was you had Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E at ringside watching, and then they came out there. And I was like, okay, they're ready to. Are they going to forward this controversial storyline? Are they going to jump somebody? Are they going to invite somebody into their group? Or, what in the world's going on? And nothing happened.
That doesn't sound like taking it at all. You know how they're like, don't ask for anything, take it? I mean, maybe they were talking about good ringside seats. Maybe we misunderstood the storyline.
Exactly.
Like, don't ask for ringside seats, just take them. Like, okay. I didn't know it was going to get this controversial.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're sitting there like last week sweating over this, I'm sweating like a damn prostitute in church, sitting there thinking, oh my dear God, is this going to be a racially motivated storyline? Please, God, no, don't let it be that. Or are they just going to be a regular faction? Or is this going to be the Angry Man faction that they were going to do, but just with different guys? What is this going to be? And I was like, nothing's answered. Now, I'm glad that they kind of acknowledged it. WWE's acknowledged it, and they're letting this, that they're going to indicate that they're going to let the storyline kind of move forward here. But, to me, I'm just keep wondering the whole time, I understand, okay, you're going to throw some people in there because apparently they're saving it up for a Miz versus Dolph Ziggler at maybe at the pay-per-view, and maybe Ryback will be the new challengers for the Usos, because I was actually kind of relieved because I didn't get to see the Usos versus the Wyatts Part 28. Maybe that's an exaggeration. We may be past 35 by now on those matches, but
here's my guess. I have no spoilers. This is just my prediction. It's a Rob's booking theory here. All right, here we go. You ready? I think it's going to be a four-way tag match at SummerSlam. The Dust Brothers, Ryback, the Wyatts, and the Usos.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind seeing that. And actually, I would like to see the fucking Rhodes brothers do something for a change rather than sit back in the back room and talk about finding something. I'm like, okay, if you ain't found it by now in about a month, son, you probably ain't gonna find it. You need to get your ass out there and wrestle.
Yeah. Well, one thing I have to give props to, this was just a completely average match. I don't know. I guess that's the best way to describe the in-ring. But one thing I have to be credible.
I'm not a huge fan of multi-man matches, especially if they don't make sense. If it builds up to something, fine, but I think they just trotted them out there just, to trot them out there.
Yeah. Well, the WWE did one good thing about this with this average match and ticket scalpers on the front row. And the one good thing that they did was they tweeted out this match early. So I was kind of like, oh, that match is going to happen next. So I thought that was kind of cool. It wasn't that great of a match if we're talking about guys who sat ringside and WWE's Twitter habits. That's all I'm saying. It might not have been that good of a match. All right, go ahead, Booms.
All right, now, Dave, this is where you need to bust out the tissues here. I got to talk about it, man. R-Truth versus Bo Dallas. And I got to get to some comments here by the Internet Infantry. Internet Infantry is completely taking it hard. Andy Papp says, I'm still a believer. He's still a believer. Javier Olmo says, before we're begging, we need a moment of silence for the end of Bo Dallas' undefeated streak. It was a loss for me. There was nothing that could have made it a win after the Bo Dallas streak was defeated. Wow. I mean, dude, it just hits you right here, bro. Right fucking here.
Go ahead. Continue on. I'll sit here in silence as I just ponder what I could even say about this tragedy. Go ahead.
Lacey Walter says, I felt it was too soon for Bo Dallas to end. He should have at least gotten a belt first. Oh, wow. Montaku 6, R-Truth may be the one, but the direction is totally done. Ooh, so he's thinking, Aaron Moore is, is telling everybody to look on the bright side. He says, best thing about the streak breaking, I think it develops his character deeper. Okay, so maybe there's a silver lining to this long big black cloud. You know, maybe. You know, let's just I kind of like that. Let's see here. BGC fan 17. How can Bo Dallas lose his streak to R-Truth? It need to be a bigger match, a bigger deal, and a bigger storyline. Whoa. Okay. 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 So people make some valid points now. For those of you who missed it, trust me. I think us reading the comments and speaking about it actually lasted longer than the match. I think the whole match lasted all of about 30 seconds.
I just want to say thank you, Bo. I mean, thank you for making us believe. And right now I'm an emotional wreck, but hopefully we can turn it around. I mean, we should remember how great this streak really was. I just want to say thank you. And someone on Facebook brought something. I want to end it here. Let's say goodbye to this. All right, we had to give our respects. But Booms.
Yes.
Someone brought something on Facebook, and I almost forgot about it. So I want to thank that person on Facebook. You ready?
Ready.
Dolph Ziggler's still the champion. He's still the internet champion. You promised an apology.
Okay. I will apologize. I'll eat
Explain why you're apologizing, and then put all your heart into the apology, sir. That's what we want. That's what we need.
Okay. I'm sorry. I wanted Cesaro to be the Internet Infantry champion. Dave and a few others wanted Dolph Ziggler. There were some more candidates, but let's just get down to the ones that me and the infantry picked. I said, no. Cesaro's on the upward. He's got way more upside. He's going to be the man. He's got this program going. He's going to march to the top. I mean, they're really high on him. Dolph Ziggler, he's sketchy at best. WWE, they're not fully behind him. Well, we put the belt on Ziggler. He went on a winning streak, and then had we put the belt on Cesaro, then guess what we'd be doing? Dun, 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 dun. Now we gotta pick another champ. Pick another champ. So, you know what? I was wrong. Okay, there. You have gotten your pound of flesh. Now just enjoy it. Now, I'm not gonna be like, Dave Kocosports when the streak ended. Dave Kocosports called me up. He was all upset. He had tears in his face. I mean, snot running out the nose. He was like bundled up a little blanket. He just had like his little picture of Bo Dallas. He had like a big old pint of Haagen-Dazs. He was like, it was too soon. I never got to tell him how I really felt. It was too soon, my Lord Jesus. And sitting there eating the Haagen-Dazs. He was all upset, and his wife came in. She's like, honey, what's wrong? He's like, no, shut the door. I feel ugly. Turn off the lights. I can't stand to bear the shame that the streak is no longer here. Well, pretty close to that.
That's pretty accurate. That's a pretty accurate description of my life. Anyway, Booms, one more time, I just want to hear the apology. Let it rip. Say, I am sorry, I was wrong. Dolph Ziggler is the greatest human being alive. Go ahead.
Okay, I was wrong. You were right. Dolph Ziggler is the greatest internet champion of all time. He is better looking than me, more athletic than me, and a better wrestler than I could ever dream of being. Okay, there. I'm sorry.
I've been waiting for months to use that sound effect. All right. Let's break it down, because some people might have said we got off track there.
Not much to it. Bo got a little cocky. He did a victory lap after he did a shoulder takedown. He got back in the ring. R-Truth schoolboyed him, got the win. Bo looked a little shocked there. He shook R-Truth's hand, said, "I can't believe you're the first to beat me." And then says, "But you know what?" And then boom, clocked him with the microphone, and then just beat the crap out of him. Took a lap around the ring, and that was the end of the segment.
Why? Why is R-Truth the one in 17-1? What? Let's just change the topic. Go to live comments. Live comments. Let's cheer us up. Cheer us up. I can't take the Bo Dallas loss. Let's go some live comments and break down the show. Come on, Booms. Throw me a positive live comment. Throw me one of those "where the fuck's Raw" asshole comments.
Yeah. If you're looking for Raw here, you're not going to find it. I figured the word review, in the title and on the little main picture, it would tip you off, but some people just don't. Let's see. Oh, by the way, Andy Paps wants to know, is that an American Wolves t-shirt?
Yes, it is. Bow, bow, bow. Davey Richard, American Strong Style. Bow, 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 bow.
BGC Fan 17 says, do you think Dolph will win the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam?
I hope so. It would make sense. Plus, Dolph and Miz are friends. I don't know. It makes sense. Miz is a blockbuster heel. They need a wrestler that we can get behind. With Bryan out, CM Punk gone, Dolph Ziggler seems to be it. I don't know. I have a good feeling that he'll be Intercontinental champ. I do. I believe in my heart. I believe.
BGC Fan 17 also says, Bo Dallas needs to come out next week and say, I'm going to restart the streak. You know what? That's the thing.
That would restart my heart.
You have to get back up, because all you have to do is believe.
All right. Any more? I thought the comments were supposed to cheer me up, not talk about how horrible the situation the Bo Dallas streak ending really is. You know what? There's moments in life that you fucking remember forever. Graduating boot camp, graduating college, meeting United States presidents, getting your dream job, your dream girl, your kids being born. But nothing tops the streak. Nothing tops
Exactly. Wow. Next here, there was the semi-confrontation between Rusev and Jack Swagger. Apparently this feud's going to continue into SummerSlam. They kind of talked about the flag. And they held up the quote-unquote real flag, the American flag. Look, I'm about as patriotic as you can get. Dave is a Marine, so he fought for the flag. And even I was thinking this came off as kind of hokey. Dave, did you think it came off as hokey as I think it did?
I just still can't believe it works with the masses. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, today's, to steal something from Mr. Friedman here, I'm going to you know this is a great wrestling show when you're going to borrow something from Friedman. But the world is flat. The online internet community, I don't understand loyalty to a country that betrays you so much. And if you any country, don't be like, I'm offended. My flag means so much to me. They betrayed you. Pick up a book. I don't understand how people could still be like, hey, I'm gung-ho, I'm this, I'm that. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, especially when it's half-assed cheesiness. But I guess each their own.
Yeah, speaking of each his own, this week Damien Sandow came out dressed up like an astronaut. Adam Rose came out and beat him in 11 seconds. I don't want to talk anymore about this match. Moving on.
One thing. Can I just add one thing to that match?
No.
I want all these YouTubers that are like, oh, don't worry, Damien Sandow's going to make a comeback, to call me when that happens. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I want to be wrong. Unlike other YouTubers, I want to be wrong. I don't think he ever comes back from this. I don't think he ever bounces back.
He does. It'll be a miracle. That'll be a miracle in itself.
I hope I'm wrong, but all these YouTubers that are so confident, like, oh, don't worry, he's going to bounce back. I don't understand where that confidence comes from. I study stuff as, like, history, formula. I don't understand where you see his comeback coming. Will it happen? I'll be happy as shit. I just don't see it happening. Maybe I'm too negative, but good luck. All right, go ahead, Booms.
Next here, it was supposed to be a match between Kane and Roman Reigns, but Randy Orton jumped him before he could get to the ring. There was an attack inside the ring. Orton beat the ever-living bejesus out of Roman Reigns, put him through the announcer's table, hit him with the steel steps, and then they just went to commercial break. Dave, unlike John Cena, they're having Roman Reigns showing some vulnerability that he's not invincible. He's not more than just the Superman punch. He can get beat up. He can get knocked down. Now, granted, he didn't get to beat in the match, which was perfect because you don't need to have him lose, at least not cleanly in a match. He showed some vulnerability. I think they want to. I think they're setting up a match here for SummerSlam, and you need to show that okay, this is one-on-one. He's taking on a former WWE heavyweight champion, and that he is vulnerable. And I think that'll sell tickets, and I think it makes Roman Reigns more of a human character, more than this guy who sits in the back, spouts off some one-liners, and spears somebody.
Yeah, I agree. Franielli really put Randy Orton over on this match. It was just hard to concentrate when I had still tears in my eyes. But, the internet. Do you know the internet? I just don't want to know if you know this.
What's the internet? What is this internet that you speak of?
Do you know that there's this internet machine, right? And this is the machine I use to go look at Bo Dallas motivational posters. But there's more than that on the internet. I didn't know if you knew that. But this new thing called the internet, there's reports that WWE is very upset with how Randy Orton is working against who's the big giant guy?
Roman Reigns?
Yeah, sorry, I had a brain fire. I had a grandpa moment there.
That's my job, kids. I'm a rememberer.
Yeah, Roman Reigns and people are really mad. And I don't know how accurate that is, but there's one thing that pisses me off about this when I did wipe away my Bo Dallas tears. Everyone sells the Superman punch like it kills them. Randy Orton doesn't sell it at all. Randy Orton has a jaw made of fucking steel. Watch everyone sell. Even the mighty John Cena sells the Superman punch. Everyone sells the Superman punch like it's the most horrible thing in the world. Like their whole life crumbled. Except Randy Orton. Randy Orton does not sell the Superman punch at all, and he slows down the match and hides his strengths. I don't know if it's the internet, this thing called the internet, and just hating on Randy Orton, because I have a lot in common with the internet about that. But you kind of wonder, maybe Randy Orton is fucking him over. I mean, just ask Mr. Anderson if that is the case. I don't know. Maybe a little too many conspiracies. They have those on the internet, too. But I only go there for Bo Dallas motivational posters, of course.
You just gotta believe.
I do believe. All right. Know what I love? I love because I have a lot of Facebook friends. Not all of them are wrestling friends. Not a lot of them are wrestling friends. And I'll put up a Bo Dallas motivational poster, and they'll like it, thinking, like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but that's a great point. I don't know. It brings joy to my simple life. All right, Booms. Let's get this truck. Randy Orton.
Next year, it didn't get much better. After this, I guess WWE decided they wanted some comedy here because they put Fandango in a match against Diego. Okay, guys, you know what's happened the last 2-3 weeks? Yeah, that happened again. You had Summer Rae and Layla dressed up as little female matadors, and then accompanied Diego and El Torito.
I'm going to get the hot tag. Here's the highlights, kids.
Hot tag. I don't want to talk about this.
I feel like How I Met Your Mother. Like my kids are just sitting down. All right, let me give you the highlights of this match. 1, Layla is absolutely fantastic looking. Look at her. Just stare at her. Your life will be a lot better the more you look at Layla. Second thing is, this has been the same match 8 weeks in a fucking row. Where is this going? Third thing is, it made me miss Zack Ryder. This was a lot cooler when Zack Ryder had that spot. I was like, holy shit, Zack Ryder's on Raw! Alright, that's about it. It was a comedy gimmick, and Layla's amazing, and I miss Zack Ryder. There. Alright, Booms, go ahead.
Alright, after that, you see we had some, oh dear God, we're almost done with the show. We had Diva Tag Action. We had Alicia Fox and Cameron versus Natalya and Naomi. This one was rather short. It was mainly between Naomi and Cameron. They got into a little bit of a slugfest. Cameron hit Naomi in the corner. It didn't look good, by the way. but Naomi rolled her up and put her in the submission. I don't know really what it was. I thought she was using a version of. At first, I thought she was going for an anaconda vice, but then she threw her leg over, and it was like a head scissors or. So I really hadn't seen it. It was a variation of a head scissors, and Cameron tapped out to her former partner, and Naomi and Natalya got the win. This match was under 3 minutes. So, all right. I'm just going to say this. Next, we're going technically to our main event. Out of 7 matches, I do want to say this. This is a 3-hour program. 3-hour program. Again, I want to hammer this. It's a 3-hour program. There were 7 matches. There was 1 match. One in the first hour. And that was the longest one. It went 14 minutes. Everything else, the next second longest match was the second match. That went 10 minutes. Then after that, and let me pull up some times here. 32 seconds for Bo Dallas, R-Truth. 11 seconds for Damian Sandow and Adam Rose. Then they decided to bump up the time, and they gave 1:20 to Fandango and Diego. Then they gave 2 minutes and 46 seconds to the Diva Tag.
Hold on. That's not fair, Booms. A 2-minute and 46-second Iron Man match. All right, let's give WWE their credit. I mean, they are fucking putting on the matches. Well.
So we go on to what's technically our main event because it was the final match of the night. You had Chris Jericho versus Seth Rollins, as we mentioned earlier in the evening. This was actually a pretty good match. I was like, okay, I'm trying to get back into this. Okay, I'm seeing what's going on here. And then the Wyatts interfered. They did the whole Wyatt intro thing, and then the Wyatts are there, and they start attacking. Jericho. Meanwhile, the referee, everybody's fucking bolted. Nobody else is in there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they got lost in the dark and decided to go home to their mommies. They had to go find their nightlight. I don't know. They fucking left. Okay, and then...
I thought they thought it was Sabu. They're like, what? Fucking lights out, Sabu's coming. We gotta go. We gotta go, bitches.
What was cool was that code breaker, that springboard right into the code breaker. That was fucking awesome. That's the fucking move of the night. So, I mean, it just, to me... It felt like a waste of a good match. I mean, I understand that you're trying to keep pushing Seth Rollins as one of your top bad guys. You want to hype up, you want to set up and have a rematch between Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. I understand that, but it's just like, why do that for your main event? I mean, I'm dead serious, Dave. Why?
I guess they just want to push the storyline and keep it going. But I actually enjoyed the match and love to see this be a legit feud and possibly go. They went at it on Twitter too. Rollins called them old, and he said, "Hey, come back when you can cut a promo." I enjoyed it, but I kind of knew this was going to happen. But at the same time, I still enjoyed it. It's the formula. It's the fucking formula. The only thing that scares about the formula is I'd like to see this match have a clean finish one day. And these guys really bust their ass. So everyone looked strong, and, well, it was a nice show of entertainment. Then,
if you want to call it that. Now the next, here's another thing. It should be an automatic red flag when your show ends on a talking segment. Stephanie McMahon asked, Brie to come out. Now, Dave, did you
hold on. Listen, Booms, I know you don't respect the women as much as I do, but you need to call her by her birth name, okay? Do not be disrespectful, okay? It is Money Mark Dixie Carter Jr. and the other Bella, okay? Can we please use their birth names? Don't be so disrespectful. Again, Money Mark Dixie Carter Jr. and the other Bella. Continue on.
Well, I thought it was going to be Boobs McMahon, but, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's her maiden name.
All right, this fucking happened.
But Dave, please, Dave, tell me what the fuck happened. I didn't care.
You know what? I'm going to break this down as best I can, but I want to preview you. It's not going to be a good breakdown. Stephanie comes out. She cuts a pretty decent promo for, Money Mark's Dixie Carter Jr. about how her life has changed. I thought it was a Sesame Street special. Man, you Americans love to lock up everybody. But she cut a pretty decent promo that I thought, hey, dude, if you were... All right, moving on. Then Brie comes down with security. They play her fucking music. Why? In what fucking universe would they play her music? What universe? What fucking universe? Doesn't even make fucking sense. They play her music. I was like, all right, sure, why not? Why the fuck not? Why not? Just play her music. They get in, and her sister has to get a raise. She has to get her job back. They're teasing it. Stephanie's like, no, I can't. And then she goes, I want a match. And Stephanie's like, what? Divas title, fucking Total Divas, fucking Slumber Party, Slammer Jammer Mammer. I think that was an exact quote from her. And then she's like, no, I want to wrestle you. And Stephanie does a great job being scared. And then she does it. And then she went from decent Sesame Street, your daddy's in jail promo, to I'm really scared, decent acting for Money Mark, Dixie Carter Jr., decent scared promo. And then out of nowhere, she hulks up and slaps her. And then they wrestle and roll around. And I'm just like, dude, you almost told a good story with fucking Money Mark, Dixie Carter Jr. But you couldn't fucking pull it off, could you? You couldn't pull it off. You couldn't. You tried, but you couldn't. Stephanie McMahon fucking hulked up. That's it. That's it. Just let that be known. Stephanie McMahon hulked up. That's what we ended the show on. That's what we ended the show on. She hulked up. Yep. Not making it up. Go back. Watch it. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah. I mean, let's see here. I mean, we got plenty of... we got a lot of comments off this. Fun for Fight says, so who's bitch when it comes to Stephanie and Brie? Dave, can you highlight on that one?
I don't know. It's so bad. I think Player Dice earlier in the comments said, he was like the first comment that I checked out, he said all that the other Bella, let's use proper names here, the other Bella could do is say bitch. And he has a valid point. It just seems like that's their go-to words. It literally looks like, remember when we were 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years, I don't know, everyone curses at a different age. But you remember when you first started cursing, and you went outside, and there was no parents around, and you're like, fuck this! And it was like, oh my god, we can say fuck when the parents ain't around? That's what it reminded me of. That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of a bunch of 8 or 12 years, I don't know. In New Jersey, we cursed pretty young in New Jersey. I don't know, maybe in Alabama, you're like, I didn't curse till I was 22. I lost my virginity and got married before I dropped my first F-bomb. Making fun of Boo-Boo's home state. But in New Jersey, we're bored fucking saying fuck. We're like, fuckity fuck, 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 fuck. And then people
I'm pretty sure in Jersey, when the babies are born, they're advised of the right to remain silent before they get slapped by the doctor.
But when a little kid first says the word fuck in front of his friends, it's kind of like, fuck yeah, look at me, I'm saying fuck, it feels so good. That's what this segment reminded me of. Like, daddy's not here, let's say bitch. Not too loud. That's what this segment reminded me of. I'm pretty sure you might as well just have the other Bella shirt just say bitch, because that's all she can say. Bitch. You get it? I sucked Daniel Bryan's dick. Bitch. Cheer for me. Fucking other Bella. The fuck, other Bella?
Our hero Player Dice says, "Oh fuck Brie. The only reason she's fucking over is because she swears. She sounds like she's reading from a teleprompter the entire time. Then she'll spice it up and say bitch."
Yeah. Bitch.
BGC fan said 17 says Brie has zero emotion, only gets a reaction when she curses. I'm noticing a pattern here, Dave.
Yeah. Bitch. That's it. I want to respond with every question with just bitch. Look at me. I can say it.
You can only end certain sentences with bitch if you're Jesse Pinkman. That's the only person who is allowed to do that. So unless you're Jesse Pinkman, you can't end the sentence with the word bitch.
Is Jesse Pinkman a local rapper? What?
No.
Am I missing something in pop culture that I should know?
Yes, you should, because I've been telling you to watch the fucking show.
Oh, is it that fucking I sell drugs on the side as a high school teacher or something show?
Yeah. Yeah, Breaking Bad. I'm telling you, you
I
need to
haven't
watch
watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet.
it. Well, come on, so you can watch it. It's not like you got a job or anything you got to go to.
Dude, writing stories and playing video games is legit work, okay?
Yes, it's totally tough here.
All right.
But all right. But we got to get back on track. Overall, Dave, since we've kind of gone through all the comments here, and I'm sorry, Aaron Moore. He says my cat's creeping him out, going through the background. I'm trying to figure out which one, but sorry about that. All right, Dave. Let's look at it here on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you give tonight's Raw?
Whoa, that's hard. Even a win-loss tie thing, I'm going to give it a slight tie. I don't know. I don't fucking know. This is probably the toughest one because they tried at some things and they failed at others, but it really wasn't a wrestling show. You know what I mean? It feels weird. You know what? Fuck it. They're not putting effort into it. I'm not putting any effort into it. I give it a 5. Just all around fucking 5. 5 out of 10. You're going to half-ass the show? I'm going to half-ass the show. There. We'll see who outdraws who, bitch. Okay.
Yeah, I figured, that's another thing. I felt like this whole show, what we've done is more entertaining than what Raw did. I thought about just completely phoning it in, but I got to remember, I'm better than Raw.
Bumps. There's times we're a bit delusional. We're getting into delusional territory right now. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just completely average. You know what this was? This was a horrible wrestling show, a decent pre-show. Like, oh, that was a great 3-hour pre-show. When is the wrestling show gonna start?
Yeah, I know.
That's what it felt like. It was a great pre-show. When does the wrestling start? And dude, what if you're a pro wrestling fan and you went there? Poor people of Houston. Like, they're probably leaving going.
Yeah, and that's another thing. This was Houston. I mean, this wasn't like, Davenport. This wasn't Abilene. This wasn't Dothan. This wasn't, Bakersfield. These weren't like small little town. I mean, this was fucking Houston. You're talking like a top 10 market.
The home of Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah, I only know NBA 90s references. Anything past the 90s, I know nothing about NBA. But the home of Hakeem Olajuwon, baby. He still plays for the Rockets, right?
Yeah, of course. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I want to believe. I used to love the NBA so much, and then something happens. I don't know. I just stopped watching. But, dude, can I just go back and watch 90s? Like, is there a fucking thing where I can just watch the 90s seasons all over again? And these young kids.
I don't know if I want to relive the 90s. Ugh.
Yeah, dude, wrestling was better, too. The NBA sucks. WWE sucks. Man, we had WCW, we had ECW, we had WWF Attitude Era, we had Michael Jordan, Karl Malone. Good times. Good times. Even Claude is in his prime. All right. We're old and missed the 90s.
Yeah. Okay, but if I've got to rank it, I'm going to give it a 4, and that's being merciful. I'm going to give it a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10. If anybody wants to watch this show, I would say watch the first match, definitely. Second match, only if you're a hardcore fan. And the very last match, if you don't mind punishing yourself with a fuck finish.
You know what? I'm going to be completely honest here. Don't even watch it. Just go to WWE.com and WWE's YouTube page. I'll watch the YouTube highlights. This is one of those shows you can watch the YouTube highlights and be just as informed as someone who sat there.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got it. Okay, okay, here's some words of wisdom. Let's see. Fred Yelly says, guys, were you not complaining about no payoff from the Stephanie angle? Used to claim that she would never get hers coming. Maybe she will after all. Well, yeah, you're right on that one, Fred Yelly, because she did get her. I mean, after she got thrown in the mud, we're like, but she got fucking arrested. So, okay, we'll give you that one.
Yeah, but not to the best. Unless she loses at SummerSlam in an embarrassing way, I still don't think she got hers. She went to jail, but she's out. How is that? I guess it's a storyline. And not all that, but when she looks like she's actually scared, she hulks up. And there's no guarantee she's losing at SummerSlam. So, you know what? If she loses cleanly and is embarrassed at SummerSlam, then I'll be like, oh, friend Yelly, you have a point. But I think it's a little early to jump on that bandwagon. Because I could totally see her going, yes, 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 at SummerSlam. So, You got to be careful. You got to be careful what you say. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish your thought.
I'm going to say if she is embarrassed at SummerSlam and puts over the other Bella, then you have a point. Right now, I don't believe you have a point. All right, go ahead.
Next comment is from, hang on, my fucking computer just locked up here. Okay, sorry. Aaron Moore says, no crying in baseball, no logic in pro wrestling. I could just see Tom Hanks uttering that line. Logic?
Dude, hold on, dude, hold on.
Pro wrestling?
Plus a million. Slow clap. You know what? Sometimes there's a comment that changes your life forever. We just had one of those moments. Boom Booms, read it clearly. Nice and loud, just for the world to hear.
Logic? There's no logic in pro wrestling. I'm trying to do my best. That's actually like the worst Tom Hanks impression ever.
Who's Tom Hanks? Just kidding. People sometimes get mad I don't know pop culture references. I know who Tom Hanks is. Go on.
All right, next, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but Eager Beaver, and I do like that name, by the way,
awesome.
He says, good thing Destination X is coming up on Thursday to help me forget about tonight's garbage called Raw.
Yeah, Impact's been pretty good the last couple weeks. But we did a whole big story on their TV situation on the site and also on this channel. But yeah, TNA has been really impressive. It's just hard because there's so many TNA fans that put it over that WWE fans are just tired of them crying wolf. I would suggest watching it, but at the same time, if you're like, fuck you, I fell for this trap, I understand. Go ahead.
Well, you know what? We should report here because we're serious journalists here on WrestleMania. According to our ace reporter, Joey Numbers.
All right.
I'm sorry, I almost said that with a straight face. He says to follow, and this is his reporting, by the way. He says to follow up on the TNA Spike TV deal being canceled story, Impact will still air every Thursday until October in its regular time slot. TNA officials have confirmed to me personally that they are shopping the show to the following networks: TNT, TBS, MTV, and Esquire, and they are confident a new deal is quote-unquote imminent.
No shit, that's not fucking breaking news. That's what everyone fucking knows. Joey Numbers, I love you, but come on, dude. Breaking news! WrestleMania will happen this year. I got it confirmed. WWE personally told me in a dream WrestleMania is going to happen this year. It's kind of like, you know, people in the comment section every now and then be like, I told you. I'm like, have you ever left a comment on any of these videos? Who the fuck have you told? Wow. Joey Numbers, please keep up with the breaking news.
Dave, okay, first of all, I can just say no, 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 and no to all those. If anything happens, I picture Spike TV doing what they did with Bellator. They would just straight up buy TNA.
That's a possibility.
I mean, that's what I've heard. I mean, because when you think about it, as shitty as the ratings are for TNA, as big of, you know, sometimes as difficult it is to watch that, they'll usually draw right around 1 million viewers. I mean, with just for the fact of having something there in that time slot, they draw sometimes not quite, but right, we'll just say to be fair, around 1 million viewers. And I think Spike TV would be kind of foolish to just, you know, fill that with like Cops reruns or.
Well, not so fast, my fellow friend, because I said this. It depends. If the advertisers ain't there, who gives a shit about the million viewers? And on top of that, I don't know the details. And a lot of people, they're fucking experts. Oh, I fucking know the details of the contract. Dude, let's use super simple numbers. But let's say it's a 1.0, and that 1.0 cost you $10. Okay, the numbers are a lot higher, I assure you. I don't know if anyone's worked in television, but maybe not for TNA. Oh, sorry, too soon. But let's say the 1.0 is $10, and then Cops gets a 0.5, right? So they get a 0.5, but it costs 10 cents. And you get advertisers way easier with Cops than you do with Impact. It's more than just ratings. It's about advertisers. It's about how much you spend on it. You know, that's why reality TV fucking kills on cable and television. It's so goddamn cheap, and people will advertise on it. That's why. So a lot of times people are like, pro wrestling gets a 1.0, Impact is gonna fucking blah, 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 blah. We don't know how much it costs, and we know it's a hard time getting advertisers. So you have to be careful of just fucking pretending to be an expert. You really do, because you don't know the details, and that's the simplest way I can put it. If a 1.0 costs you $10, and you can't get advertisers, but a 0.5 costs you, 5 cents, and you can get advertisers, it's not always about ratings. It's about money. And TNA has never, ever, even in a Sports Illustrated special interview, ever mentioned the word profit. Never. So I hope TNA succeeds. I hope they do better. But you know what? Right now, I kind of feel like a Papa Bear. I hope TNA gets punched in the fucking mouth about this and does shit right from now on. And there's alleged reports that TNA's creative guy, I can't remember, tried to get a job with Ring of Honor. Now, how true is that? Who knows? But everywhere I read, it says allegedly. So I don't know. TV deal's a big deal. A lot of people, especially TNA positive people, are like, oh, we'll book and just jump on ESPN. We'll jump here. Dude, a television deal is not easy to land, and it kills a lot of things. And switching networks hurts every show. Ask Scrubs, ask ECW. So, yeah, sometimes you have to live in the real world.
Yeah, I could cite some more mainstream examples like that. The Jeff Foxworthy show, that switched networks, that tanked. Family Matters, that switched networks, that tanked. And plus, I know when they moved ECW onto Sci-Fi, I know that bumped some programming around on Sci-Fi, and it pissed off a lot of the hardcore Sci-Fi fans.
And I was even saying early ECW. Remember they were with what was Spike before Spike?
It was TNN.
Was it? All right. I don't know what it was, but they tested out wrestling with ECW, and Paul Heyman has said 1,012 times that, yeah, if they had a television deal, ECW would still be around today. A television deal isn't as easy as you think, but at the same time, it's not impossible. I just wish TNA told the truth about everything. You can't cry wolf this many times and people are going to believe you. Breaking news! Monday Night Raw will be on next week. I'm going to check my sources to see what time in your area, but there will be a Monday Night Raw next week. And don't quote me on this, but a lot of scuttlebutt is that the Monday Night Raw show will be on Monday. I'm sorry, I'm just poking fun at you.
There you have it. You won't hear it anywhere else but right here on WrestleMania. And on that day, I think we need to start wrapping this show up. So any parting thoughts here before I do that thing that I do so well?
Joey Numbers, no one knows who you are. I love you. You still owe me a large amount of money, you fucking cocksucker. I still love you, but you owe me a large amount of money. Is he listening? I love you, Joey Numbers. All right, Booms, wrap it up.
All right, be sure to check us out at Kocosports.com. That's KOCOsports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. That includes mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, sumo wrestling. If you can get your nose broke doing it, we got it covered there on the site 24 hours a day. So be sure to check it out, along with our blogs, news and gossip section, as well as our popular video on demand section. It's available 24 hours a day on Kocosports.com. It's where the world goes to kick ass.
And we've been doing tons of videos, so please like, comment, and subscribe. And you know what? Just go to the blog. Jerry and David Cooey have been doing amazing things. And if anyone sees Pablo, if you're just walking the streets, you're like, there's Pablo, just poke him with a stick. Just be like, here, Pablo. Bah! There you go. Anyway, yeah, go to Kocosports.com. Thank you, Boo Boo. Thank you, Internet Infantry. I'm sorry, Joey Numbers. I didn't mean to say mean stuff. You know how I am. I still love you. But if we need to talk. Anyway, go to Kocosports.com, KOCOsports.com. With that, I am over.